So it's going to be kind of a combo. So last week we updated the 2026 rankings. Obviously, at the beginning of August, we had the Illinois State games. So we're going to kind of tie the two together, bring kind of a 2026 rankings talk in with the Illinois State games talk. So we're kind of talking about prospects from the event that showed well, maybe some surprises or winners from the summer, things like that. But just a couple notes I wanted to add on the Illinois State games before opening up to you guys. The event had nearly 400 players. I believe of the 395 players at the event, only 14 players were committed, which I think just kind of speaks to the volume of the uncommitted talent in the state and just at the event as a whole. We now have over 40 commitments from the event, and then there were, again, 60-plus college programs at the event and over 100 college coaches at the event. So that's kind of what I wanted to say about the state games, but I'll kind of open it up to you guys if there's anything you wanted to add on what we're doing today or just the event as a whole.
I'll be the first. I just want to shout out Drew. It's obviously a huge event. 400, I'm just trying to think, watching this guy put 400 kids through a workout, or nearly 400 kids through a workout that first day. We also got to be done at a certain time because we got to start gameplay as soon as we can. It's really impressive stuff, and I feel like we, every year we're trying to make it more and more efficient. So I just want to give Drew your flowers there. I know you obviously put in a ton of time and effort behind the scenes that probably goes unnoticed by a lot of people, but not us on this podcast and not us in our little Illinois, Wisconsin ecosystem. So just want to shout you out there.
Well, it's not necessary. I obviously appreciate it, and it is a big undertaking. And I mean, luckily for us in Illinois, we have an incredible staff. And that this whole Illinois State games and it continuing to grow, I think speaks to our staff. And what you guys are doing throughout the year. It starts in the winter with all of our preseason IDs, kind of identifying guys for that upcoming spring. Who do we need to see, in that high school season for the Illinois State games, for the future games, for the senior future games, all this stuff we're running. And then all these tournaments that we got Pete here. He's running all the tournaments up at the Rock, at Rantoul. We're seeing hundreds of thousands of players in the summer as well. And all of it plays into the Illinois State games and making it, the event that we hope it is and want it to be, and hopefully continuing to make it better. Because I think the one thing I'm most proud of with the event is, yes, it has grown. We've added more teams. We're getting more schools. But I don't think the quality has suffered. There's still a ton of really, really good players at the event. And that's what it's all about, is how can we keep that quality for the college coaches the same and continue to grow it? And that just comes from seeing as many players as we can in the state. And it's a year-round process, and it's a multiple-person process. It is a true staff that makes the event happen, selects all the players. I think we do a heck of a job with identifying the players, getting the right ones there. And then from there, that's the players' time to shine. We want to give them the environment that they deserve to be in and belong in and put them in front of the right coaches. And that's the other beauty of this, is it's not just Power 4, schools. It's schools from all different levels. It's Division 1s in the Midwest. It's D2s, it's D3s, NAIs. The JUCOs, are big at that event as well. So these players are getting seen by every level. And then hopefully they're getting the attention they deserve. And what I love is when these guys get in that environment, in that situation, and they elevate their performance or, show to their best of their ability. And I felt like we had a ton of those type of performances at the Illinois State games. I think we might have mentioned it on the last podcast, but Traxton Roberts winning the MVP pitcher. He was a future gamer for us. He's a 2027 from Armstrong. And then you had Evan Adamczewski, 2027 left-handed hitter from Maine South, who just went off at the event, won the MVP Position Player Award. And there were a ton of other really good players that are worth talking about. And I think that's kind of what we want to do here, right, Gavin? Is we just dropped the 2026 rankings update after a long summer. The Illinois State games plays a huge role in it, as does the senior future games, all the tournaments in the summer. But there's a lot of overlap with hey, these rankings were affected by who showed well at the Illinois State games. So I think, touching on some of those players, and I don't know if you guys had anything else you wanted to mention on that Illinois State games, but it is a huge endeavor. It's a great event. It's 2 days in and out, a lot going on, jammed into a small frame of time or time frame. And luckily for us this year, we had amazing weather. From someone where I'm sitting, like trying to run this event, organize it, and be timely, like the weather is something I cannot control. And it was absolutely awesome this year.
I just think it's only going to get better. Like, I like what you said, how it's getting bigger, but the quality is staying the same. I think that's totally true. Because there's a lot of good baseball players that weren't there that deserve to be there, and we'll try and make it to where we can get those guys in. But even like just the little things like first form being there, giving out protein shakes and like the protein bars. Like I know I snagged a couple of those, and those were clutch. Just stuff like that. Like the gear we gave out was pretty sweet. Like I'm rocking that shaker bottle still. I actually saw one at the gym out in the wild. Someone was rocking one, which I thought was kind of cool. But no, it's just only up from here. And they just keep getting better, and it's the place to be to finish off the summer, no doubt.